Greetings, beautiful beings, and welcome to the Breathing Bar. I'm Ahuvia, your bartender, today and every day here at the Breathing Bar. And our focus here is to create elixirs and tonics in this apothecary called Living While Human that are palatable, enjoyable, and healing. So the Breathing Bar deals with different topics, different concepts of reality. And it's time for us to find a balance in this. And one of the biggest ways to find balance, one of the biggest ways to find acceptance is through the breath. An inhalation can communicate so much to your innerverse and to the universe. But many times we don't put enough time and energy into understanding this language called the breath. So the Breathing Bar is here to let's mix it up and shake it up and let's create together as we all continue this journey seeking balance and consistency in this wonderful world of living while human. We have been going through the Heal Your Body, Heal Your Heart, Heal Your Body series. And today we're going to take it a step deeper and at the same time kind of bring it into a real perspective in the space of, in order to heal, you have to find relative peace, which means you have to find relative resolve, which means you got to let it go and move on. And at this point, this is where most, if not all, of the healing seems to go into a different direction. Because it's not easy to find relative peace, because in finding relative peace, one, you have to let go of belief systems that kept you outside of being able to release whatever it is that you're holding on to that's causing you to have the pain or the discomfort or the imbalance. At the same time, that means you have to change the entire way in which you look at life from that perspective. Because one thing we don't realize is when we're working to heal our hearts, again, the heart is the balancer of the etheric and the physical realm, respectively. And so the imbalance is something that has been innate in us because we are not in a space, many of us, I'll just say, aren't in a space of living in a balanced way with our sovereign consciousness, our innate understanding, our innate blueprint that we manifest in this earth to bring into fruition. Now, it doesn't mean that we weren't meant to go through all the challenges that we are going through, because we still have free will and we still have discernment, no matter how well we are at navigating and utilizing it. But it becomes a problem in healing because finding relative peace and then being able to allow yourself to find your resolve around whatever it is that has caused you the intense harm or pain is not easy. It takes a level of empathy because at this point you have to find something that will allow you to find comfort in releasing and letting go of something else. And many times that means that there has to be a level of responsibility that you take on whatever it is that has happened, because only you can shift your energy and shift your reality. The circumstance that causes the pain cannot do anything that's outside of you. It can only continue to move in the frequency and vibration that it is moving in. Yet you have full control over how you're going to navigate your energy realm, how you're going to navigate your innerverse and be able to allow yourself to come into the balance you need. So relative peace comes with finding peace in the situation, which means you have to let go of the anger, the anxiety, the bitterness. And how easy is that? How easy is that? So we get into the deeper realms of why generations and centuries of humanity have not been able to release the pain, have not been able to find relative peace. And it shows within the cultural makeup of almost every culture. Government, military, wars, all of these different things, because peace is outside of this realm of war, is outside of fighting. It's now saying, okay, I'm gathering my troops and I'm going within. And that means with you, I'm gathering my emotions, I'm gathering my belief system, I'm gathering everything, going into my universe, going into my sacred space, and I'm going to figure it out. And once I've created a peace treaty within myself, then we'll start figuring out how to create a peace treaty outside of myself. Because that's where it starts. Many times we put the cart before the horse, and we're taught to always try to externally create peace, create calm, create justice, create all of these equanimity. Yet if it's not within ourselves, if we haven't figured out how to govern the only vessel we were given to govern, which is ourselves, how can we bring forth that more expansive understanding? You have to stay inner and go inner and be inner, maybe for decades, to really get the balance you desire. The balance that you know is impregnable. The balance that you know is unshakable. And it takes work. It takes discipline. And it takes a lot of humility. Because it's not going to look glamorous per se. It's not going to yield you the intellectual satisfaction. Because many times that intellectual satiation, is that satiation? We're satiated with wanting to be intellectually accepted, intellectually recognized. And intellect, a lot of times we can read something, and because we read it and we understand the words that have been written, we think therefore we can manifest, and therefore we can teach, and therefore we have become have a level of expertise in a particular area. When in many cases, just because you can read and understand and articulate something does not mean that you are that something. And a lot of people don't understand it takes years many times to embody the frequency of that understanding. You can understand it from an intellectual, but going from intellectual to being able to manifest it from your innate realms of consciousness, from your intuitive space, it takes years. And each year you go deeper and deeper into it, the more you work and the more you dive into it. And my examples always, Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off, and the Karate Kid. Wax on, wax off. It's nothing exciting about it. It's not going to get followers. It's not going to get subscribers. It's not going to get anything. But within yourself, your cells will begin to regenerate on a deep level. Your heart will begin to loosen up and be able to soften up, and the blood will be able to flow much more freer. And then you'll begin to really heal. The healing that will last for generations to come. The healing that will allow your cells now, when they reduplicate and when you get impregnated, to be able to truly create cells that aren't mutated, that are strong and vibrant. And the consciousness in the generations to come will then begin to have a more balanced resolve in how they manifest and how they grow and how they develop. So in order to find relative peace, you got to find relative resolve. How do you find this resolve that you need? Because what happens is you find a resolve, you wake up in the morning like I do, and Spirit always brings something to my consciousness, and I stick with it. Then I was like, okay, it's going to be about another 6 months to a year for me to really get the depths of this, but let me start now. Now I'm to the point where I've done a lot of my work on myself, so I understand how I flip-flop back and forth. That's the work I've done, is to understand me, to understand any moment where I am, and if I'm able to find relative balance in something. And I say, it's going to take a minute. And I just say, okay. And I give myself my first landmark. Okay, we're going to work for 3 months. There has to be a shift to Hoovy in 3 months that's consistent. Not a shift that you do and then you just slide back, but it has to be consistent. And that's how I've lived my life. In each year, I've seen, as I stay on taking my baby step, but yet being consistent in those baby steps, I've been able to get stronger and stronger and more grounded and more grounded. There may be other areas that are totally still out of balance, but yet my awareness is able to keep them stabilized. You can be stabilized in your imbalances. I know that seems just like, really, Ahuvia? Being stable in your imbalances just means you recognize them, you know they're there, and you acknowledge them. See, imbalances want to be acknowledged. Whatever's causing imbalance wants acknowledgement energetically. Now, with this acknowledgement, you can do one of two things. You can acknowledge it and then feed into it, or you can acknowledge it and say, we're coming. Take some deep breath and just stay still in this space of imbalance. Imbalance does not have to be shifting back and forth and causing chaos and confusion. It could be still. It can be in a holding space. And then how do you let it go? How do you let it go? Whatever this pain is, how do you let it go? Many times you don't per se let it go in space, is that it's never to be seen again, because you're always going to remember, but you recalibrate the frequency so that it's not an active, energetic source or force in your life. As you accept realizations, as you come into your resolve around it, in order to really let go of something and find your resolve, you have to really, really want to. And you have to want to for yourself. And that's the biggest thing about healing, is you have to want to for yourself, not for anybody else or not for anything else. And yourself is your inner verse. You have to begin to love your cells, your organs, this vessel that's housing you more than anything in the world. It has to become the most important thing to you. And once you know that anything that you do, anything that I do that I know is bringing my inner verse harm or discomfort or imbalance, I feel. That doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. But it means that I'm in 100% awareness, 100% acceptance, and I'm taking 100% responsibility for how my inner verse reacts to me. So I know there's a lot that I feel into this space of healing the heart, finding relative peace, finding relative resolve, letting go and moving on. But here at the Breathing Bar, we continue to plant seeds. That's all it's about, is planting seeds and putting them out in the universe. It's not about anything else. It's a sacred space to respect the breath as a language. Every word that comes out can only come out because of the breath. Only thoughts you take in because of your inhalations. The breath is everything. And everyone, the cells, everything is around the breath. So you all have a beautiful moment wherever you are, and we will talk soon. And thanks for coming by the Breathing Bar. Give thanks.